So, hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat Sadiq. And this is the Demetra K show where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. Also, like to say a big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. I was streaming on Twitter, but Elon wanted me to pay to do that, so I'm gonna just do it another time. But nevertheless, sometimes we do share the link, and I intend to do that today, as I had someone say, I want to come on and, basically tell us why they're supporting Kamala. So we'll see if they show up. But nevertheless, when I share the link and your profile looks like this, please show me this. And then you can go back to that if you don't feel comfortable. Just know that I am the only one that can see you, not even Donovan, until I bring you up to the big screen. I also ask that we are respectful in the comment section and on the panel, as we do disagree, and that's fine. It's just how we disagree. And let's try to do that in a more respectful manner. So, of course, we're keeping in line with election season. Y'all know that Kamala and Trump will be, I guess they're kind of battling it out right now to see who's going to go to the White House, or even back to the White House, right? Because Kamala is in the White House as the vice president, and Trump was the president at one point in time before Biden. So they're trying to see who's going to be there after the election in November. But of course, there's a lot of us in Black America who are like, nah, I ain't really feeling Kamala. But that don't mean that we're feeling Trump either, or that we're Republicans. We're just not feeling Kamala. But there's been a lot of, some people say boule, the elite, and I say so-called elite group of Black people who have been trying to shame Black people into voting for Kamala. And last week, it got downright disrespectful. And I'll share with y'all about that in just a moment. But in the meantime, let's see who's on here before I give it to Donovan. We have Christopher. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Simplified Accounting, how are you? Looking forward to you being here. Lawrence Lilly, how are you doing? Don't need no man. Stop telling me I do. How you doing? Brother Don, how you doing? Panther Strikes, what's going on with you? Troy, Judge, hey baby, and Sister Shirley, and Avenge the Ancestors, yes indeed, and Crystal, and who else? Tracy. All right, so Donovan, I forgot that I wasn't. You gotta remind me. How you doing? And this is JJ Detrick. How you doing? Facts Not Feelings. All right, Donovan, go ahead.
Yes, welcome back, you guys. It is 3 p.m. California time. That means it's Demetra K time. We want to thank you guys for joining us, because there's a lot of things you guys can be doing right now. Closing ceremonies of the Olympics. A lot of stuff that's going on in the world. You guys can be spending time with your family, cooking them greens in the cleaning them in the bathtub, whatever you guys do, wherever you guys do it. So we want to thank you guys for joining us once again as we have this great discussion in regards to the African diaspora in the United States, right? So what I want you to do, there's a scrolling banner at the bottom. That is a way you can donate to the content creator to keep us motivated to make these great conversations and to make these great videos to keep us informed and entertained. Let's face it, Demetrius, sometimes people just come here for the entertainment. So again, you can do a Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, cash, money order, however you guys want to do it. And that does help. It does take time to make videos and do that, and it does, help. So thank you guys so much for those that have donated, those that continue to donate, and those that will donate, because we know it's the political season, and school's about to start back up. So you need that extra money for the kids and the clothes and all that other stuff. Do not forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get it on Google Play and the Apple Store. You can download it, see great videos from her, Vicki Dillard, Brother Phil Scott. He's got some great new producers and contributors that are coming out of the African diaspora. Sometimes I sit there and I laugh at how they portray themselves on there, because they're so raw about it. When you're in a country where everybody looks like you and you're the dominant class. There was one girl that was talking about like the poor white people, and she was just like, well, you're getting your, she was just straight up like, look, you're getting yours. How did we feel when you guys were oppressing us? It's just whatever it's going to be. So download that, become a member. If you don't want to download the app, go to YouTube and become a member, subscribe, do the annual subscription. I do the yearly subscription, so that my card doesn't keep being charged every month or every other month. That's a good way to do it. And what else do we have going? Also, if you guys are planning on going to the Ethiopia trip, I was watching Phil the other day. I believe there's 5 spots left. 5 spots. So if you want to go and meet Brother Phil Scott, Vicki Dillard, maybe even Demetra K, and some of the people that are going to be doing that, you got 5 spots left. So hurry up, get your spots. And again, just download the channel, become a member, and that way we can have these great discussions among ourselves without having the man over our shoulder. Demetra, what do you got to say?
Yeah, I was trying to turn my volume up and my computer got some like numbers and stuff. I was like, what the hell, am I being hacked? I hope not. But nevertheless, hello to everybody that is on here. We love and appreciate you dearly, and thank you. Avenge the ancestors for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. And yes, indeed. He likes what I say. Yes, indeed. But anyway, okay. So last week, of course, you know, there's a lot of people posting about Kamala, Trump, you know, which side they're on or they're against or whatever the case is. Well, there's a lot of, as I say, so-called Black elite who are upset with Black people who do not want to vote for Kamala. And I guess specifically, they feel like we are being misinformed and we are spreading misinformation. But this was the front of the flyer. I guess and I don't know who made it, but a lot of people were posting, and you name it. It was Jamel Hill, it was Benjamin Crump, it was Charlamagne the God, it was, yeah, I mean, you name it. They were all posting this. And as y'all can see, I blocked out the N-word, okay? It says things you N-words need to know before you vote. And so there were 5 points, and I'm not going to put them all up, but I'm going to read some of the bullet points of it. Number 2 was Kamala Harris is in fact Black, okay? Then it says at the bottom, it actually doesn't matter if she was green. The other option is orange, racist, felon who aims to be our dictator, right? So within that, they were talking about how her dad is Jamaican and, you know, that makes her Black. Okay, number 3, it says your vote does matter, okay? Now, highlighter says, even if your vote didn't matter, it doesn't hurt to use your voice anyway. So they're educating people about the electoral college and, you know, the popular vote, things like that. And number 4 says Kamala Harris did not, and that's emphasized, lock up thousands of Black men. And at the bottom it says presidential candidates aren't perfect, but at least know the facts. Okay, so it talks about she only sentenced 45 people total. Let's see, you know, stuff like that. It wasn't just Black people. Number 5 says Agenda 47. Now that's Trump's agenda. That is his bona fide, legitimate agenda. Okay. Agenda 47 is not for your Black ass. That's what it said. Those are not my words. Okay. And at the bottom it says Agenda 47 is directly from the Trump administration, which is true. And I've read it. Some things are problematic and some things I don't, you know, see as a huge problem. Of course, they run around talking about Project 2025 and, you know, but that is his true, real agenda. Okay, so I'm going to take that down. Now, I say that the disrespect is getting out of hand because where on earth do anybody thinks it's okay to call Black people who have a problem with Kamala or even whatever it is, the N-word? And then talk about the things you N-words need to know. Who came up with that? And the other question that I had when I saw that is Kamala cool with that? Is Tim Walz cool with Black people being called the N-word in their name? Are they cool with that? See, nobody else talks to their group of people that way. Whatever derogatory they want to, you know, put toward their people, you don't see them making flyers talking about Hispanics that way, Asians, or, you know, anybody else that way. But as Black people, we got to get disrespected into voting for more of nothing. Never mind her policies. Never mind the legitimate complaints and concerns about where is our reparations check. You N-words need to know these things, right? In other words, get in the booth and vote anyway. Just do it anyway. But it's like, it's going to get worse and worse and worse because the good news is they see there's a lot of us in Black America that's like, you know what? I'm truly awake now. I'm not going to be voting for more of nothing. Kamala has not shown me anything. Biden either, because she's still with Biden, right? That she ain't in there on her own yet. They haven't showed us anything. In fact, they have showed us and told us out of their own mouths. Not going to do anything for you specifically, right? But we have watched them do specifically for everybody else. But Kamala's henchmen, because that's what they are, right? The Democratic shields, they run around there calling black people the N-word. As if Donovan, does that make you want to go vote for her?
Not at all.
I'm just not even a little bit.
Not at all.
That, you know, they're talking to you in that austere manner. I mean, I would think that would have the opposite effect. Now, I also want to address something else. There's these allegations. How true it is, I don't know, because I've heard other people say it ain't true. I heard people say it is true. I heard the tape. It sounds like Trump called her the B word. Whether he actually did or not, I don't know. Okay. But I'm like, just last week, all these people who are complaining about Kamala allegedly being called the B word, because they're also saying there are some people within Trump's campaign that says that he's calling her this, you know, behind closed doors. But y'all was cool with black people being called the N word last week. And now y'all outraged because Trump allegedly is calling her the B word. Now y'all forgetting, listen, don't make me defend Trump. But during Kamala's first campaign speech, you know, her rally, she called him a sexual predator. Talking about I locked up sexual predators. And so it's like you get out there name calling, and this man is allegedly calling you names. And like what are we doing here? But how is it that y'all are cool with and people calling black Americans the derogatory N-word, but now you're upset because she's allegedly being called a B? These are allegations, right? So Donovan, what say you?
We gonna protect this black woman. We are out here protecting. I know for a fact there's a bunch of brothers. We gonna protect her. Ben Crump, we gonna protect Kamala. We need to get around her. See, Demetria, I'm gonna have to disagree with you because I'm gonna vote for Kamala because the chick is down. Montel Williams had her. Slickwick Willie Brown had her. I heard she got that tongue action that's really good. I don't know, but that's why I'm voting. Okay, she's a woman. You know, she hasn't done anything. You doggone right. She locked up those black folks and fabricated evidence against them and stuff like that. You're damn right. You should, if you don't want to do the crime, if you can't do the time. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be supporting Kamala all through this because you know what? I'm woke. I just woke up. I was on the wrong side of history. I am going to vote for somebody to continue to oppress me and take money out of my pocket, run this country into the ground. Because you want to know why, you guys? I've been retired for 12 years. So guess what? I'm living good. I'm eating good. Nothing that's happening affects me. When the government shut down, I still get my check. I'm just worried about me. See, so when you're in a position like me, I don't give a damn about the rest of you guys because I got mine. I got my butter biscuits. Oh, you don't care because you just eat. That's right. I got my watermelon. I got whatever. It is what it is. How did that sound? That is what I hear when I hear these dudes talk to me about why I should support Kamala Harris. I'm like, these are the educated nine, the smart boule. These are the people that we're supposed to do. But notice what they got in common. They all got their piece of the pie. They're not worried about the rest of us. So when I ask them, what about policy? Oh, that don't matter. You know, if Trump gets in there, you know, man, we going to be back in chains. Lord have mercy. The issue with the B word. Remember I tell you guys The Matrix, go watch that movie. That's what really woke me up. I see the world, and a lot of you guys see it too. You see the world for the way it is. When I go out my front door here in California, I don't put my blinders on and act like I don't see homeless people. I don't do that. I don't act like I see the illegal migrants. I don't just walk through the raindrops. I see the world for what it is. There's homeless people at the park down the street from my house. I see it. Don't piss on my head and tell me it's raining. We've got to see the world for the way it is. And these people sit up here, they call us names and they do all of this stuff, right? Demetria, co-hosts, why would you be surprised a white man behind closed doors is calling Kamala the B word, calling us the N word, and whatever else they do? That is not a shock to me. That's what's crazy to me about this, Demetra. Where do you guys think where do these people, because you guys got it, where do these people think they live? I am not shocked when white people go behind the doors of power, they talk about Negro, 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 and wetback, wet, wet, wetback, wet. That's how they talk. What's the big surprise here? What's really sad at the end of the day is, it's sad, but at the same time, I'm glad, because for them to put as much money and effort that they're putting into as slave catchers to bring all of us that are running Kunta Kinte style from the plantation, says that a lot of us have now woken up and we are not going back, no matter what happens, unless they give us what it is we want. And we are no longer being a monolith. We are now individually having individual interests, and that's how it should always be. I put a video up. I'm just doing a shameless plug real quick. I put a video up. Miss Sweet Talk was on it, about Tiffany Henyard and what's going on in Dalton. You guys, right there is a snapshot. When you don't know the history of a candidate, what can happen in your city? In less than 4 years, that mayor in Dalton destroyed that town. If Kamala Harris, I'm from California, so I know her history and stuff like that, and I'm not impressed. But in 4 years, if that woman can destroy that town in 4 years, and a Kamala Harris election to president would be the Biden administration on steroids in regards to immigration and money overseas and world wars. That's my opinion on it. Do I really want to risk that? I don't think so.
Absolutely. So let me get to some of y'all comments. I know some of y'all like, you're not reading my comments. I swear I'm trying to. So let's see. Where did I leave off? And get it, girl. How you doing? It says DNC this week is going to be sickening. Yeah, so they're having their what is it? Their convention. Is it this week? So yeah. Facts Now Feelings, how you doing? It says I had empathy. Kamala was implementing Biden crime bill on blacks in California. Brother Samuel, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well this fine day. And Tracy says, all those trying to shame us, I don't listen to them anyways. Yeah, me either. I find myself lately, I have to kind of like log off. So I don't like being annoyed all the time. Pop, how you doing? He says she's not like us. Okay. And JC, how are you? Said these people done lost their damn mind. You think so? Gilbert, how you doing? Says who wrote the article, DL or Ricky? I don't know. I don't know who wrote it, or I haven't heard of anybody that claimed it, but nevertheless, you saw a lot of people posting it as if it was cool. And it's like, that's how y'all think y'all should be talking to us? Okay. Your average logical thinker, if I didn't already, how you doing? It says, say it, Donovan. That's how some of them think. And Alfonso, how you doing? Says Hindu hair, you crazy. Hindu Harris ain't black. Damn. Beautiful son, how you doing? Says until their dollar is worthless. King Mike's world. He says we need to never listen to these clowns, never ever again, never support people like Ricky Smiley ever again. Yeah, y'all heard how he was acting. Brother Arson, how you doing? And Daryl, what's going on with you? Thank you, Ashell. Thank you. And Brina, how you doing? Let's see. Alex, I was at the right 2010. He said, woo, bad time to say exactly. How you doing? And Brother Rodney, how you doing? Says, I guess Kamala is playing head games with Donovan. Is she? Let's see here. Panther Strike, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. He says, family, it says, tired of the benign neglect and outright disrespect. There's no way in hell, like I said, that hell, I know what you was putting down. I'm voting for that former, hooker home wrecker. Damn. Hashtag counts 2024. Well, tell us how you really feel. Ooh, now I'm giggling like Kamala. Let's see here. Arniva says, meditation woke me up to see we are in the Matrix. Yes, I've been hearing that example a lot about the Matrix. OG Patrice, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Brother Abdul, how are you? Let's see who else is on here. M, how are you? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. OG Fitz, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Pop says the white neighbor Karen tried to shame me for not voting, and I had to remind her by asking, "Didn't your daughter get pregnant in the 8th grade?" Wow, you have to do it like that.
You got to be real. Sometimes you got to be real with these people. I mean, again, once you unplug from the matrix and you see what a hellhole we actually are living in, it will make you reflect. And and I know some people just want to beam up and get out of here. But once that high is done, you're still dealing with reality.
Hey, Thunder, where you been? We missed you last time. I hope you are doing well and staying cool as it is hot as hell here in Houston. Cornelius, how you doing? Says Kamala doesn't deserve to be president. Well, at the end of the day, we gonna see, right? Because people keep saying, who's gonna win? Who you think is gonna win? We'll know after the election. That's when we'll know, I think, right? Who else came on here? Sister Shirley says, I thank the ancestors for you and Donovan. You know what? We thank the ancestors for you as well. Let's see. Hey, Al, how you doing? Since I read that, LBJ said, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best black man, he won't notice you're picking his pockets. And that's exactly what he said. And they said Lyndon B. Johnson was one of the greatest things that happened to black Americans. And it's like, yeah, he was pretty racist. He's a Texas boy. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but they were racist back then, right? They felt like, okay, well, do all these programs and stuff, for black people and things. But God dang it, those N words. Maybe it was LBJ that wrote the flyer. I don't know. You
guys got to remember, when he was head of the Senate, he held up the civil rights legislation for almost 10 years. Who fought against civil rights in the 1960s? Our parents and our grandparents, they never tell us the whole story. Who fought against the civil rights movement during the whole time? It was the Democratic Party. That is when the filibuster came into existence, because they wanted to uphold that legislation and delay as long as they possibly could. You look at the facts. The only reason he signed that civil rights bill was because every Republican voted for it. And we're not telling you to be Republican, and we're not Republicans ourselves, but that is the legislative fact. It would be embarrassing for him, who claimed to be a friend of the Negro as a Democrat, not to sign a bill that was passed by Republicans overwhelmingly.
Yep. And then, so Vegas, I heard that they had an ad in Craigslist or something like that, and they were hiring people. Now, how true it is, I don't know, but I did see that, kind of going around. So I don't know. They're paying people to show up. But as I said, too, Kamala's having concerts. She ain't having rallies. So that's why people are showing up. You want to see Meg Thee Stallion and, D Nice and all these other people. And David, how you doing? Says, whoever is going to do something for black people specifically like they do for other ethnicities, I'm voting for. Until then, I reserve judgment on my vote, as we should, right? Should not be giving it away. Brother Easy, he says they've been playing politics with black farmers for a long time, but when Mr. Boyd jumped on board with not voting, they got their money quickly and owed much more. So it also be said that, again, it's not just for black farmers. It's for white women they sued, Hispanics sued, Native Americans sued. So they're all going to get a piece of that $5.2 billion. And of course, what happens when that, minorities, people of color, all lives matter type of thing happens. It's usually the black people that get the leftovers, if any at all. So absolutely. All right. So let's see. October.
We do most of the fighting, but we get little of the reward.
Absolutely. And 70 DRC, how you doing? Says Democratic Convention is next week of August 19th. I was going to try to go, but I heard they was trying to keep people like 3 miles away from the, convention. Now I think
they're going to be at the old airport down there, the old Riverfront Civil Airport. That's where they want the protesters.
Yeah, I'm too cute to be getting roughed up. I'm sorry. I just had to catch all that on TV. Jerron, how you doing? It says I have to tell my own brother to stop talking to me in chat saying we must save democracy. He believes Harris has helped the black community. It's like, yeah, if you don't take me out this doggone group chat, you better, But, at the very least, muted. JW says, I am shocked to see there are so many young people on YouTube out to support her. The lesser two evils pervades their perspectives. Yeah, but if they were really logical, then they're saying, well, she's not really the lesser two evils,
Yeah.
She doesn't even have a plan for Black Americans, and it's sad that Trump does, and he pales in comparison to what we're asking, but he has one. The guy who was just supposed to be this big time racist, he has something specifically for Black Americans, and Kamala talking about, oh, well, they're gonna be working on some policies in a couple of days, and then she's thinking about sitting down for interviews toward the end of the month. It's like,
but you guys see the tactic there? They are pushing to where it's like they're going to panic you to where there's not enough time for you to really make a rational decision. And they'll say, get me in the office and we'll see what we do when we get in the office. Just before we came on the show today, Demetra, I looked on her platform. It's all about donations and merchandise and meet the candidate. Nothing about any kind of policy. So you mean to tell me a person who raised $200 million with Biden Harris, plus the overnight money she made, and plus the money she's getting now from the new donors, you mean to tell me she can't hire people to put up a website overnight?
See, what it is, and Donovan, you and I both know politics, and you know that I've worked with plenty of candidates. I have a background in PR. See, what it is they're going off of what they're calling this honeymoon thing, right? Everybody's in love with her. She's so cute, and but as they say, she's bringing joy back. She's called her and Tim Walz the joyful warriors, right? They're capitalizing on her laughing and having all these concerts and rallies and stuff. But what happens is when she starts putting these policies up, now people get to see what she has in store for Americans in general, right? And that's when the criticism comes, and that's when those poll numbers that she's benefiting from now start to come down, because now people say, oh, I don't like that. We liked you when you was, dancing Megan Thee Stallion and all that, but these policies you talking about, and of course, you might have heard too that she hijacked one of Trump's policies that he wants to put in play, and that's not taxing the service industry as far as their tips are concerned. But a year or so ago, Biden and Kamala, because they come together, right, said that they were going to have the IRS crack down on people and their tips, because make sure people are reporting all of their earnings. Now, all of a sudden, she said, we're not going to tax y'all. I was like, do you not have an original bone in your body? Or you just, saying what you think is, what are we doing here? Because we know that you weren't thinking that a year ago. And Brother Samuel,
I'm going to cut you off. Sorry about that.
Sure.
Remember when Obama was supposed to codify or something with women's rights, something that he was supposed to do for the women specifically. Then he got into office and he was like, well, that's not a priority of mine anymore. We're going to have to wait on that. It's not a priority, because he said when he was running, the first thing I'm going to do is sign this into whatever law it was. I think it was something to do with women's rights. And then he got in there and he says, well, that's not a priority. And that's what they do. They get in there on these promises, and then just like that chick up in Dalton, Illinois, she was recalled. It took a judge to keep her in. So it isn't like the people didn't know what they got. They made a mistake. They tried to recall them. Once they're in there, it is hard to get them out. They have to serve their terms. Look at Donald Trump, twice impeached. It took them, the guy served his whole term, and they spent a whole 4 years trying to get the man out. So that's why we have to be careful and vet these candidates once you put them in office. It is not easy to remove them.
Yes, indeed. So let's see here. And Robin, how you doing? It says the year of truth. Yes, indeed. And I think was it Cat Williams said 2024, people were going to be getting exposed. Brother Easy, you said, how is it after years of discrimination, Black farmers were able to receive money owed so quickly because they were about to hold in the Democratic vote, which sent Democrats into panic mode? Yeah, but they still didn't give it specifically to them, right? Everybody else can benefit from it, even though the Black farmers were affected the most by not getting government funding and things like that. It was just, discrimination, for lack of a better word. So, but I hear you though. Let's see who else came on here. I would love to acknowledge everybody at least once if I can. Who else haven't I seen? Journey, Zion, how you doing? It says, so what does the whole Chuck sneakers represent? What I missed. So that's what Kamala wears, right? She wears the Chucks, the Chuck Taylors, right? Converse. And when she was campaigning in 2020, and then she had her pearls on with it, because I guess she's a soror, AKA, I guess that's maybe their thing. So that's kind of what the Chucks and pearls. thing came from it. Everybody was running around with Chucks and pearls, and it's like the only winner out of that was Nike. Don't they own Converse or somebody? Yeah, so Douglas, she says, Thomas Burrins, he says, the command sergeant major who replaced Walls previously told the Post of the Minnesota governor he had the opportunity to serve his country and said, screw you to the USA. Yeah, I've been hearing that his military record may or may not be what it is.
Yeah, no, his record is correct. What it is he got promoted to E9, command sergeant major. You have to stay in rank so many years to hold the rank. So when he retired and got out, he reverted to E8. So he actually retired as an E8, which is the second highest enlisted rank. And that's on his DD-214. But he did attain the rank of Chief Master Sergeant. See, people keep, it depends on how you use it. But the point is he did attain it. So
you're saying it's not necessarily true. He was doing what he was supposed to be doing.
Right. They're just spinning it in a way where most people don't understand how the military works. You got to hold the rank. And if you don't hold it, you can't keep that rank if you get out or whatever. So I think at the minimum, and most people, and some of you guys are veterans too, you guys know what we're talking about. You've got to stay there at least a minimum of 2 years to 3 years in rank to hold it.
Gotcha. And Donovan is a military expert, as he has done 24 years in the Air Force as a pilot, and he's done 16 tours of duty. So if anybody knows about the military, is this guy here. Callie Singh says 75th anniversary of the United Nations in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Member states pledge to strengthen global governance. And you guys heard that we are now have a what is it? What's the below the pandemic? It's an endemic or something like that. I forget what they call it, but they said it's basically never going to go away. COVID is never going to go away. And I think it's even going up in a lot of places. So they said people really need to start wearing a mask again when they're around a lot of people. And Al says both candidates can't take the sharpnail of criticism. Yeah, and I think that's true for most people, right? We don't like criticism. Mama Deb, did I say hello to you? How you doing? Says, yes, they are trying to run the clock out on Black America. Yep. And Candy, how you doing? Says she stole Trump's plan to taxes, no tips on taxes on tips. Yep. Emmy says, Dimitri, did you see the video where both Harris and Biden calling young people stupid? No, I have not seen that video. And admittedly, there's so much out there. October Opal says, I absolutely love my people, but sometimes damn, in my Florida Evans voice. Maya Sisters, how you doing? You says, hi, Donovan, correction about the filibuster. It originated in the gag rule of 1836 forbidding Republicans discussion on slavery. Come on with the history.
That is correct. And like we always say, we thank you guys. Don't just listen to what we say, research what we're saying. See, you guys are doing it the right way. Exactly. She's absolutely right. I was basically going with the modern age and how they use it in the filibuster.
Yep. And King Mike, he says, Kamala is going to get as much money as she can before she'll disappear. Yes, she's got to, and I get it. I'm not mad at her for using that strategy, right? Let me giggle and give them joy and all kind of stuff, because admittedly, I'm going to have to sit down and I'm going to have to answer these questions that I know damn well I can't answer, because I'm not going to have a friend in need. A friend in need is a friend indeed. I remember when she was somewhere, I don't know, in a different country, and they had like a press conference and they asked her a question that was over her head. And she looked, she goes, a friend in need is a friend indeed. And it's like, just say you can't answer the question. So yeah, she knows she's going to have to do that. And that's when the helium is going to start to deflate out of her joyful balloon. All right. JJ says Tim Walz looks older than Abraham Lincoln. Now, you know you wrong for that.
Well, the funny thing is him and Kamala are the exact same age. Look at the difference.
I'm be nice, because no, I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna be nice. Thunder, he says, have you seen Kamala Harris's policies? No, they think they hiding. Says, I know they're not on her campaign website, but I found them. Would you like to know where they are? Please do tell, so we can, have an idea as to what she's gonna do. Abdul says, I don't see how nobody in America can vote for one that want to put tampons in the boys' bathroom. So yes, they're calling Tim Walz Tampon Tim, because I guess he signed legislation to put tampons in the boys' and girls' bathroom. And y'all know why that is, because it might be a biological girl that is a trans man or I don't even know, right? But nevertheless, there's supposed to be some tampons in the boys' bathroom. It's like, well, they don't need that. I don't know. I'm gonna confuse myself, so I'm not even gonna try to talk about
we need to go. What was that movie? Starship Troopers. Just let the boys and girls shower together. It doesn't matter at this point. Some people are going to like it, some people ain't. But hey, it's all one big fan. What's the worst that could happen in a situation like that? Just let them use the same bathrooms. Just, we're all human beings. What's the difference? We're all the same. We're all equal, right, ladies?
Goody, how you doing? Says, I don't remember that. I remember Obama saying that he can't get nothing passed because he had a split House and Senate only toward the end of his second term. He was able to get everyone in control. Yeah, that's what a lot of people who are making excuses for him say. Well, we did the Senate and the Congress tied his hands. But like you said, the first 2 years he had the House and the Senate. And he's still able to do things for everybody else. But that's what they tell us, when they tell us not to expect anything. Amazing Lovecraft, how you doing? He says, grand afternoon, Demetri K and family. How you doing? I am doing well, and I hope the same for you. Ronald, how you doing? He says, no one not falling for that. Oh, you say Trump 2024. Okay. And Macy M, how you doing? Says Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Yes, indeed, the Super Mayor. Like, what the hell is that? And Sharice, how you doing? Says, hello, everyone. Hello to you. And Edwin, how are you? Says, Trump should commit to reparations and crime bill. Let's see if Kamala copy. Right. She ain't gonna copy that. And Al, the truth, how you doing? Says, Trump cases was all political, though. Let's keep it 100. Well, you're saying, him being arrested and stuff. I mean, that's what the word on the street is. Just saying, how you doing? Says Kamala. He says, so the DNC's version of, oh, yes, Sarah Palin, unfortunately, I can see Russia from my house. Yep, that's what I said. I think she's Sarah Palin 2.0. I really believe that because, again, y'all saw Sarah Palin was walking tall and talking tough, and they were all in love with her. And she got to talk, and it's like, can you really see Russia from your house, ma'am?
And guess what, though? After that experience, she was never the same. She was a drunkard and just a crash test dummy. She just became a crash test dummy. She was never the same after running for office. She was never the same.
And Tanjan, I hope I said your name right, says, how you doing? Says Donald Harris said his mother was Hindi and father was Canadian. I have photos, and he has an Indian accent. How are they black at all? Them folks think lowly of blacks. I've heard the same thing, but Kamala running around, she's saying she's black, Original Copper, American Sun Energy. How you doing? Says demon rats need to go. Damn, demon rats. Salam, how you doing? He says camel. And you got it blanked out. I don't even want to guess what that means. Norris, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. It says, I knew that young black couples insanity was gonna be generational. They're still trying to drag me into it. Boy, bye. Yeah. There's a lot of heated conversation, I'd imagine, around the dinner table. And Corey, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. And sorry if I'm freezing up a little bit, but I think you can hear me. It says, help me understand, why should we give vote GOP, knowing they're the ones gutting voting rights, affirmative action, and civil rights act? I don't understand.
Okay, I'm going to address part of that.
Sure.
Voting, how are they voting voting rights? It is a codified in the Constitution and in the law. If you got a government ID, you can vote. Now, we know the illegal immigration, they're going to get a state ID because he's making them legal, and then they can go vote with that. So that's how the Democrats are going to be stealing elections. They can't take a right that's already there. So you mean to tell me, let's just say hypothetically, let's just use our logic. You mean to tell me, let's say they don't reinstitute the Voting Rights Act. So you mean to tell me 13% of the population can't vote because a law that nobody else has to deal with, nobody else has to have any special law to cover them, is going to prevent 13% of the population, which is so they say black, from voting? I don't think so. That law is like having a lynching law. It's symbolism. As long as you got a government ID and you're an American citizen, you can vote, period.
Somebody wants to know, are you married? Because they say they're a good woman and they could benefit from those benefits. Yeah, you've matched 24 years, 16 tours of duty, a pilot on top of that. Yeah, he probably got little coins laying around somewhere.
A few degrees. I've been busy in my adult life.
Yeah. What, 12, 13 of them? So I don't know. Anyway, Robin, how you doing? Says thank you, reminding us that Malcolm X said 60 years ago, a vote for the Democrats is a vote for the Dixiecrats. Yeah, he also said you're a traitor to your race. Voting for the Democrats and all they do is use black people for nothing. And I like how you spoke to that, Donovan, as far as the Voting Rights, Civil Rights Act and things like that. It's like, okay, well, y'all say they're gutting, voting rights, but we ain't going into the booth and making the right decisions. You're voting for a party that's showed you that they will do nothing for you specifically, but they do for everybody else. We know the Democrats cannot get in office without the black vote, but yet, they tell us, we can't do nothing for you, but they do something for everybody else. And as far as affirmative action, black people didn't benefit from that. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but then again, I don't. All right, let's see who else came on here. And hello to everybody that's come on here. So many of y'all. Love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Oh, really? It says breathing in your own carbon is no good. Causes other health issues. Now, in a minute, I'm going to open up this link to see if anybody wants to come on here. I had somebody hit me up yesterday, said they want to come on here and I guess defend Kamala. We're going to see. Joey, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says those people who are voting for that lady, they're voting for their own demise and disregarding her track record. Yeah, because she's a black woman. That's what they're saying. That she's a black woman. Yo, mama black.
But isn't that crazy? These are the so-called educated PhD, Morehouse, Spelman graduates, Howard graduates, and they're just telling you just to vote. If you've been to college and you've taken like logical thinking classes or whatever, they teach you to be, how to think, how to logically think about things, right? But here, this educated class of people, and they're telling us to illogically act a certain way that is illogical to human nature. Don't vote for your interests. Don't vote to get something in a transactional relationship. It just doesn't make sense. And these are the best that we have. I'm scared.
Yep. Donovan, Thunder says that Kamala's policies are on a wiki page. Can you see if you can find them? He says that they're on there. He doesn't know why they're not on her website, but see if you can you can find them. And Jules, how you doing? So there's a video where Tim Walz lied and said he went to Iraq war and he didn't. Okay, so yeah, there's I guess his record is in question, right? And October Oval says, how do you get COVID if you're housebound and can't go outside? I'm just saying. Maybe you're ordering stuff in, like DoorDash and all that. I don't know. It's a good question. Let's see who else came on here. And there's so many of y'all, so I love and appreciate y'all. And let's see here. Panther Strike says the Kamala sexuals have yet to point out legislation Trump passed that disparage the black community and ignore Biden-Harris racism. Right. They talk about the Central Park Five, which is horrible that he took out that ad. And they said that him and his daddy was racist when they were renting apartments and things like that. But Trump just got into Washington. Biden had been in Washington for 50 years, give or take, so there's that lesser two evils argument, Kara, you say, I don't want to hear about them talking about Medgar Evers anymore. Right. That was a Ricky Smiley is like, man, if you don't, Brother Sam, you said, do you think he would debate Donovan and I? Nah, he wouldn't. He wouldn't, and he couldn't, because he's gonna have to come up with something better than "Yo mama black." That's why you need to be black men. Yo mama black.
But my sister's black, my brother's black, my cousin's black, my aunt is black. What does that mean? What the hell does that mean? And if you guys look at the link, I just put in positions of Kamala Harris, her political positions. That was on the WikiLeaks page. I don't know if that's what she's running on, but it is her political position. So that is correct.
Okay, so I'm trying to say that again. What was on there?
It has her political positions. I put it in the link, so you guys can click it if you want to check it out. It kind of tells you where she stands on things.
So, but is it policies or just like?
It's just positions. What she's. I'll give you an example. Like her political positions, political orientation. It tells Kamala lifetime ratings. For all these groups that support her, and it's just. Abortion. Harris supports abortion rights and is reportedly making reproductive health care central to her 2024 presidential campaign. So, even though she's calling it abortion, she's for abortion. Affirmative action. Harris opposed California's ban on affirmative action and filed an amicus brief in the Supreme Court. Capital punishment, criminal justice, drug. It just basically talks about her stance on these issues. It doesn't say what she's going to do. How it affects, going forward, what her mantra is, what's her policy toward the United States moving forward. That's great to have a political position.
So stuff we already know.
Right, basically.
So no policies like I'm going to put a chicken in every pot.
Right, a strip pole in every room so you guys can get political,
A fish fry every Sunday.
Right.
So nothing like that. Okay, so got you. So Thunder, I hope that's clear. So it's her positions. And y'all, get your mind out the gutter. But not her policies. Got you. All right. So let's see here. And again, hello to everybody. And Salami says a lot of American Black people, no driver's license, cannot vote. Or you could get an ID. Get an ID. If you don't have a license because you don't have a car, you don't want to drive, you still should have an ID. How would you cash your check or any other thing? Mm-hmm. You might need to ID yourself with. So that's something you should have.
Yeah, you should have some kind of state ID, federal ID. You can't even get on a plane without a what's the new ID you got to have?
It's at 2025. It's it's a special.
It's a special ID. Every state has it now, and you can't even get on a plane unless you're an illegal migrant. You can get on without even going through security. They just let you on.
So, ain't that something?
I don't want to scare y'all, but that's a fact. They do not go through security. They put them on the plane with you. They have no ID. They have no idea who this person is.
Fishing with Rick.
Real ID. That's what it's called. Real ID.
Real ID. That's what it's called. Thank you so much. I am so appreciative of that donation. I love and appreciate you for that, for supporting the channel and everybody else that has supported this channel. I thank you so much, as we cannot do this without you. So once again, thank you so much for showing up in a major way. Thank you. Let's see here. Who else came on here? Uncle G, did I say hello to you? Says it's almost always an October surprise every election. Right. Like they did with Obama and Jeremiah Wright. And then Obama had to get up and, denounce. Ain't that sad? You've been in this man's church. Didn't he marry him and Michelle and everything? You had to get up and denounce your pastor because Reverend Jeremiah Wright was right. Because, they were mad when he said, God damn America, but he was keeping it real. I'm like, if you're going to go to church, go to a church like that, where they telling Black people, listen, Jesus wept, but however, America is a racist country, and so he had to denounce him. It's like, man, that should have told us something right there. And that Obama, he going to do whatever he got to do,
Yeah, and then here's another thing I want to bring up about voting. Okay, we have security breaches happen all the time with all these websites and stuff. There's always going to be a system to beat a system to beat a system. So since we're in the 21st century, what is wrong with having an ID to verify that you can legally vote in these elections? What is wrong with that? The thing is, think about it logically. Why would the Democrats not want people to have IDs? So they can steal elections. Because stuffing the ballot box, because that's how Robert Kennedy won Chicago and remember, Kennedy only won the presidential election by 100,000 votes, the shortest amount ever, still in history till this very day. But it took the mob to stuff the ballots and stuff like that. Why would the Democrats fight against people legally having to be able to vote? Why? Prove it. You're an American? Prove it. How are these illegals getting all of this support and they don't have a social security number? How? You go there to get some food stamps. They want your birth certificate, your divorce decree, your mother's maiden name, your family's history way back in Africa. Anything they can do to deny you as an American benefits that you pay in taxes every year. But you could be an illegal person, come here, and nobody knows who you are, and you get all these benefits. And you got to think about it like this as a Black person. 13 million illegal migrants have come into this country, a majority of them Hispanic. If you let those people who have now been housed in your neighborhood, your city, vote, you won't have a voice. It'll be all about them. They're already taking over. Their kids are already taking over the public schools. So again, think about that. This is Democratic policy. This isn't Republican policy. It's Democratic policy. So think about that.
See, you got your mind in the gutter. But welcome. Paul, how you doing? Says, I'll let Biden say it. Kakala, y'all got the new name for her every day. Kakala, you ain't Black. Y'all better knock it off. Kakala, that's a new one. J Bubba, how you doing? This says Kamala knows all about. See, I started it, so I'll take the blame. You said, okay, I'm gonna ask Willie Brown. Douglas says, why do low info Black Democrat voters take Leonard, Larry McKelvey seriously? So that's Charlemagne the God. Yeah, you know, whether we know it or not, or like it or not, Charlemagne the God has a following, but it's the same old people who, you know, look for Democrats to be the savior. And I always say this too. I was once a Democrat, so I'm not sitting up here like I was always about it. I wasn't. I had to be enlightened as well, you know. Donovan, for whatever reason, he's still recovering. I don't know when he'll ever be recovered. I don't know if he's going to have a relapse or something. But he's a Democrat as well. So, you know, they're just some people, it sounds good. You know, they walk tall and talk tough, and the Democrats and the Black people, all this other stuff. But if something is for you, they also do for you. And the Democrats have not done that for Black people specifically, and they have done it for everybody else. So, yeah, Charlemagne has got his following. All right, so let's see here. Who else came on here? Mark, how you doing? Says her inflation and open border. Yeah, you know, and she's going to have to talk about that. So she doesn't want to answer those questions about the border. Kamala has been complicit in what's going on with the border. Biden put her over the southern border, you know, to go see what was going on. And she even stood up there and says, okay, you guys please stop coming over here now. She did. You know, it's like, but y'all opened up the borders. Y'all stopped Title 42, which Trump had in place. Y'all stopped it. And you over there, don't come over here. Stop coming. I mean, I don't know, you know. Nevertheless, it's like, man, get out the way. Miss Sweet says fish fries and stripper pole policies. Yep. That's all you're going to get. No worries, Thunder. You know what? We didn't know, right? We thought maybe she put her policies up, but they're not really policies. They're her positions, again, positions on politics. But she's already kind of talked about that. We know she's pro women's reproductive rights and, you know, all that. Now she's pro not taxing people's tips.
Pro Israel. I mean, I got a question for you guys. She keeps talking about brokering a peace deal between Israel and Hamas, but yet she's arming the aggressor, which is Israel. How do you talk about peace, but yet you're arming the aggressor? Somebody help me.
And I mean, and the other thing too is, you know, I follow the news. They just bombed a school over there in Gaza, a school. Over 100, that's what they're reporting, but I'm sure it's more. Over 100 people killed. While she's sitting up there talking about we need to get a ceasefire deal and then bring back the hostages. It's like, girl, if you don't stop talking out both sides of your neck, because like you said, Donovan, how's it that y'all sending money over there and weapons, but then you talking about we need to get broker a ceasefire deal, and y'all dropping bombs on those people like that? It's insanity, you know. And my thing is, what happened to all the, you know, pro-Palestine people? All of a sudden, y'all got amnesia. Y'all think that Kamala is going to do something differently than what she's been doing? Y'all also forget who she lays down with every night. Her husband is from, Israel. I guess his people are anyway. And
Yeah,
unless
he's a Zionist. He's an American Jew, so he's a
yeah.
Zionist.
So I mean, it's like, did y'all really think she gonna just get in there and say, okay, that's enough, BB, Netanyahu, that's enough. I said stop. Nah, she ain't gonna do that.
And how many of you guys saw Netanyahu when he spoke in front of our Congress very arrogantly and very disrespectfully in the United States of America, basically dictating to us like we're boo-boo on the shoe? It was, I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe the
They let him come over there and do it. Yeah. Get a girl, you say, Charlemagne, he step and fetch it. Is that who you talking about? All right, let's see. Linda, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It says she was installed. Yeah, for the most part. I mean, people didn't vote for Kamala during the primaries. They was like, okay, we're just going to switch. Biden, you ain't going to do it. Okay, bet. Let's get Kamala up in there. And that's pretty much how it happened. So yeah, absolutely right.
But also what's crazy is people actually think this woman is going to win. The numbers aren't there. If she couldn't win in 2020 and basically called her current boss a racist, what makes people think she's going to be a good candidate now? For 3 years, she was missing in action. She's the same exact candidate. If you didn't like her then, what has she done that has changed your mind now? Oh, she's not Trump. I get it.
I mean, and that's the long and the short of it. She's not Trump, but I mean, we've seen what she's been about kind of sort of for the last, almost 4 years with Biden. So it's like, do you think she's going to deviate from what her and Biden were doing? Of course not. And we know that Kamala is very pro-immigrant, which it makes sense, right? Her parents were immigrants. So we see why she has a soft spot for immigration. And I don't have a problem with immigration if it's done right. But I have a problem with it when they come over here, they ain't supposed to be over here and they getting everything without even having to, lift a finger or just, oh, it was horrible where I was. Give me everything now. And they get it, Hey, Daryl, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. How are you? Says, I was shocked that people voted for Israelite people and voted for Joe Biden, all the harm he did to the Black people. And that's why he picked Kamala Harris. Well, he picked Kamala as a pawn because, her campaign fizzled out when she was running for president in 2020. But he selected her to get the Black vote, and it kind of worked. So that's where we are. Let's see here. Who else came on here? Let me see. Charles, how you doing? Says, well, I am 55 years old today, right now. Well, happy birthday to you. It says an FBA or Black American person. Black American people today, right now, are plenty poor and still poor in America and been poor in America today. I think your comment cut off, but maybe you're saying right now. Yeah, we are. We're not. Well, okay, how about this? We're not really poor. They said with the wealth that we see, it's Black Americans every year is almost 2 trillion, give or take. The problem is we misappropriate the money by giving 97% of that away to everybody else. So we don't keep the money. We give it away, essentially living off of 3%, which makes us poor. If that makes any sense.
I got a question for you, Demetri, real quick. If you guys have been listening, these fraternities and these sororities, especially the women's sororities, we are going to make a difference, because we say Kamala should be in there. These fools actually think their little numbers is going to make a difference in an election. There are more people that did not go to HBCUs than went to HBCUs. So what is your thought on these sororos and these fraternities thinking that they are going to go out and make a difference in the communities to get people to vote for them? I don't see fraternities and sororos in the community. Yeah, they have their little scholarships and stuff. And those of us in the military, we have our little scholarships and stuff. But to me, it's not enough to make a difference. Most people that are sororities and stuff like that, these people, they keep the money for themselves. They're basically partying and meeting for themselves and having a good time. What makes these people think that any of us would listen to anything that they have to say? Demetri, what is your thought on
that? Because in the past, we have, and I've done a video about it. I've done another one that's coming out the past, we have allowed them to believe that they are the mouthpiece and the brain, the epicenter of Black people. The elite. They're the elite. They're that talented 10th. And, they're supposed to rule over us and give us our marching orders, and we're all supposed to just fall in line. But I would impress upon anybody. If anybody from the Divine Nine come knocking at your door, calling you or whatever, talking about, hey, you need to come on and stroll to the polls for Kamala, ask them why. What is Kamala going to do for me as a Black American specifically for me to get myself in my car and go to the polls and vote for her? Is she going to give us reparations? Because we want that. Is she going to do a hate crime bill specifically for Black people who are still the most unprotected group of people in the United States? Are they really going to do something about police reform? Not that watered down George Floyd Justice and Policing Act that they have now, like something with some teeth so that our people don't get shot in their faces or anywhere else because we are unprotected. Like, are they going to do those type of things? And if they say, well, it ain't Trump, and slam the door in their face and tell them to get the strolling and stepping up off your porch. I'm just saying. All right, so skipping on down. So let me see. Does anybody want to come on here and defend Kamala? Douglas, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. He says, Donovan, under NVRA 1993, you don't need a driver's license, social security card, or birth certificate to register to vote. All one needs is a bank statement or utility bill as ID. Fact, look up the SAVE Act.
Yes, exactly. And I'm familiar with that SAVE Act, but the point is, though, you're supposed to be an American citizen to vote. That's the bottom line. At the end of the day, you should have to prove your citizenship. But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Douglas has been dropping some gems, you guys. Like I said, we learn from you guys just as much as if you guys can learn anything from us. And that's what having a conversation is about. Can't say he's wrong. He's coming with facts.
Yeah, and like we said, we don't know everything. We just sitting up here just yammering on, to be honest with y'all. We learn a lot from y'all, which is why I'm asking people that supporting Kamala, come up here and tell us why we need to go to the booth for Kamala. If you give us a good reason, I'll say all right. But so far, nobody's had one dude. By the way, I blocked him. Didn't I tell you I was going to block him? As soon as I got off, I was blocking him because he always with the foolishness, hopping on my page with nonsense. And he tried to come up here one time and he was like, well, it's not Trump. I was like, oh, yeah, you getting blocked in the very near future. Fishing with Rick, he said, how the hell is not taxing tips going to help the vast majority of us? Always baby steps with Democrats, right? How about giving them a decent living wage in the first place to where they don't have to depend on the tips, right? The tips could just be like, okay, cool, that's extra. But when I show up to work, I earn a paycheck that if I never got a tip today, I could still take care of myself. Because she's talking about, oh, we're going to talk about raising the minimum wage. And it's like, if you don't knock it off, because you in there now. You see and talk to Biden every day. You are in the next to the White House, I guess, right? You ain't in the Oval Office yet. When I say you, I mean Kamala. So why we got to wait for you to get in office? You kind of already there. You can't say, hey, Biden, before you lose the rest of your memory and before you leave the White House, can you do these things for Americans and Black Americans? See, it's games. She's playing games. And I agree with you. It's baby steps. And most of us aren't waiters. So, or, people who get tips, bellhops, or whatever the case is. So you're right. How does that benefit us?
Well, Demetra, what is your thought on the California fast food workers wanting another raise? What's your thought on that?
I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I mean, they're getting $21 an hour in California. What is $21 an hour doing for anybody? You can't even go outside and change your mind for $21 an hour. So, I mean, the living wage should really be at minimum like $30 an hour. And that's not just California, but California, yeah, it probably should be $35. But everywhere else, it should be $30 because you could go work a fast food job. And as I always say, I don't care what y'all say. I'm with people handling my food, getting paid the good wage so they can be happy. Because the last thing I want them to do is be disgruntled in the kitchen while they making my damn food. Right.
You guys want to know what's scary? The average aircraft mechanic coming in ground floor after all that training, military training, whatever, getting your license to be an aircraft mechanic. they make about $30 an hour starting. That's if you're an American mechanic, because a lot of the airlines are sending their aircrafts overseas, at a cheaper rate and have those mechanics work on it, which is kind of scary. But you mean to tell me a person that flips burgers makes just as much as a person who works on an airplane that holds hundreds of people's lives in the air? Think about that.
Yeah, the fact that pilots are getting $30 an hour. I ride Spirit, y'all. I'm not ashamed to tell y'all I am a frequent Spirit flyer. Yes, I do get points for flying with Spirit, but damn it, they need a raise, okay? One more, Rock, how you doing? It says new subscriber. Thank you so much, love and appreciate you for that. He said, who is running our country? That is a good question. Where is Biden? I saw him with Jill somewhere. They was walking around doing something somewhere, but I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. We know it ain't Kamala because she out there having concerts. Biden, well, God bless him. We kind of saw him in real time during the debate. So that's a good question. Somebody needs to be. Bobby, there you go. Saxon, how you doing? It says closed border. Well, they're blaming Congress now as to why they can't close the border. We're trying to get this bipartisan deal done, but the Republicans won't let us do it because they're saying Trump told the Republicans, "Hey, don't do this, this deal." So they're blaming it on Trump, who's not even in office, and him telling the Republicans not to close the borders. Like, y'all missing a very giant entire step here. Trump had the borders closed and y'all opened them up. And now y'all talking about Trump and the Republicans won't let y'all close the borders. Would you knock it off?
Quick question. How did they open the border? They didn't go through Congress. How did they do it, Demetra?
They just got rid of Title 20.
Executive order. Yeah. By executive order. They opened the border by executive order. So if you opened it by executive order, guess how you can close it? By executive order. You don't need Congress.
No, the Republicans won't let us.
Yeah, you don't need Congress to get rid of student debt. You can do it by executive order. There is no law that says the president does not have the power to wipe. The president has the power to wipe away all federal debt. He can do it with the swipe of his pen. Games. The Democrats are playing games.
They won't let them, Donovan. They won't let them do it. Myra, how you doing? Says, hello, does anyone know Kamala as far as a friend from any school, childhood friend, church friend that could vouch for her being Black? It's funny. One day I was listening to NPR and they had one of her sorority sisters on there, and the lady was like, oh yeah, y'all, what kind of things was Kamala doing? And she's like, well, together we did this something for the school, but she couldn't really say anything specifically. I was like, see, y'all just finding people up out the woodwork. We know she went to Howard. That's not a secret, but anybody could go to Howard. There's people who are not Black that go to Howard or HBCUs. But yeah, the friend was struggling to really just name something specific that she did. I was like, okay. Fridley, I hope I said that right. How you doing? It says she has a huge following now. She very well could win. Yeah, she does have a huge following. However, you got to know, as they say, this is the honeymoon phase. Kamala ain't really saying much, okay? She talking about her and Tim are joyful warriors. Like, what the hell is that? We're a joy. What, you just going to laugh to people to death? I mean, like, what does that even mean? You're a joyful warrior. That's not a policy. It's fluff. It's puffery is what it is. And when Kamala sits down and has to answer some real questions, and by the way, did she ever say when she's going to show up to the National Association of Black Journalists? Trump showed up. He showed up and he took all that fire from them. All the razor blades and lemon juice sister girl had for him. He gave it back to her and they didn't like it. But Kamala didn't show up. She had something else to do. And she's supposed to zoom in. Did she zoom in yet? Did she give him a rain check? These are Black people, right? She a Black woman. So she said, these are Black people. And she didn't even show up for her own people's press conference to answer no questions. So when she starts doing that kind of stuff, then we're going to see how large this following is. And like I said, if she has a concert with one of my favorite people, she invites Jamiroquai to go out there. Oh, you best believe I'm going to be in attendance, okay? I'm gonna be in that mug. Most Def is there. I'm there. You know, don't have nothing to do with me supporting Kamala. I just want a free concert. Um, Vegetarian, how you doing? Long time no see. He says, "Who be us? It's not where you're born. It's where your roots come from." Donovan. Okay, I got it. Jay Baldwin was a genius. How you doing? He says no, because he's talking about somebody else. But how you doing anyway? Blasphemy says when we were experiencing genocide, nobody cared. I mean, we still experiencing it. Got you, Donovan. American Man says people are going to vote for her. Yeah, they will. They will vote for her, but I ain't gonna do it. Let's see who else came on here because I know we're getting down to the wire. One more rocket says, I believe they are creating the appearance of a huge following so they still can be more justified. And that's what it is. It's just an appearance. I mean, she's having concerts. You know what I mean? And I heard they're paying people to show up. How true it is, I don't know. But you pay me, I'll show up. I'll be in that mug. I will be. Hey!
Demetra, I got some news for you. I just looked it up on the website. El DeBarge will be performing with Kamala in San Diego on the 8th of September.
Hey, you know, I got a lot of frequent flyer miles with Spirit. I'll be there. I'll be there. All this love is waiting for you. And then I'm going to leave, okay? Hey, Pamela, how you doing? Okay, let me go down to. I'm trying to see if anybody was trying to come up here. Just as I'm waiting for what happens after the election. You and me both. Godspeed, how you doing? Says, hey, I hope all is well. Keep doing the great job that y'all do. And thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. David, how you doing? Says, what if I don't love any Black people? Well, that's your prerogative. I mean, I don't necessarily know if anybody gonna lose any sleep over that, but you know, it's fine. It's your prerogative.
Demetra, also, I got a question for you. Since the last couple of weeks have geared up, how has your membership on your page been going?
Oh, it's been going good. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people are showing up, and we love and appreciate you for that. Because, you know, we're having a conversation about politics. We know some things, y'all know some things, but at the end of the day, we have a conversation about a lot of stuff, but lately it's been politics. We learn from each other, right? We want to get to the best answer, and between all of us, Donovan, myself, our family, you know, our third co-host, which is the audience, then we figure it out. That's what it's about. Like I said, y'all never gonna see us up here do this, do that, it's this, it's that, and this, and it's that, and it's this, and it's that. We're having a conversation, you know. Like I said, I want to get to all y'all comments, and one day we're gonna have an audience appreciation day, and we're just gonna read all of you guys' comments. Big Papa, how you doing? Says, I'm voting for a party tray of, you crazy, a party tray of 100 buffalo wings while sitting on my comfy couch.
Amen, brother. Amen. The reason why I brought up your membership is we know that the Democratic Party is in panic. You want to know why? Because I've been getting a lot of subscribers that are brand new. They have no subscribers themselves. And I had like 6 or 7 people like within like a 4-hour period subscribe, and they had nothing in the background. So they want to hear what we're saying. They want to troll what we're saying and just, you know, and just be a disruptor. And you really can't panic when that happens, you guys. Again, stick to, you know, what you believe and just say, what is she going to do? I mean, to me, that is the lob of lobs when it comes to these candidates. What are you going to do specifically for Black people? If they can't answer that, it is what it is.
Yeah. And Chris Reed, how you doing? Says both parties do not need the Black vote. I got enough Spanish people to vote for them. I mean, they do need us. I get you. Okay, I mean, let me ask you this. If they didn't need the Black vote, why are they spending so much money on outreach to Black people? And the other thing that should be said, Donovan, did you hear that LULAC endorsed Kamala, and they have not made an endorsement? They said since, I think it's inception, 1928, they have endorsed Kamala. Donovan, you're a smart guy. Kind of. You do all right in the smarts department. Can you give me your best answer as to why LULAC, which is a Latino organization, right, Now, let me give you a little bit more context. Their presidents in the past have said that they are not interested in aligning with Black people. Let the Negro fight his own battles. We don't care. Like, this is on record that the presidents of LULAC have said these things. Okay. Here's the $1,000,000 question. Why all of a sudden now would they be endorsing Kamala?
Using my reasonable deduction, living here in California and having dealt with LULAC and being a California resident, there is a Asian Hispanic coalition against reparations for Black people. They formed a coalition. So for LULAC to, and I'm just doing my deductive reasoning, for LULAC to endorse Kamala basically tells me Kamala ain't a Black woman, or they would not have endorsed her.
That, you know what, you make a good point. And Khalil, how you doing? And Chris, thank you so much for the super sticker, and everybody else that's donated. Love and appreciate you for that. I think that's a good answer. But LULAC's homies have been allowed to come up over here due to Kamala and Biden's policies, right? She is big on immigration, and you also know that there is power in what? Numbers. So the more their people come over here, then the more powerful they are. They know that a Trump or anybody else, for the most part, has not been pro-immigration as Biden Harris. Even Obama was considered to be the deporter-in-chief. He was the originator of having kids and people in cages, but they attributed that to Trump. It wasn't Trump that did it first. It was Obama that did it first. So there's Kamala, who we know her parents are immigrants. It's just a fact. She's been on record a copious amount of times talking about, oh, the immigrants, and we should feel sorry, and we should do this, and we should do that. We're welcoming, and blah, 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 blah. Now here's LULAC, who is very racist toward Black Americans. It's not my saying this. This is them, and it's recorded that they are. Now they're backing Kamala, and from what I understand, it's the first endorsement that they have done since their inception, their creation. So that tells me they're like, oh, we know Kamala is for us. She not for Black people. Because see, if Kamala was talking about, I'm going to do something for Black people too, then they probably wouldn't be endorsing Kamala. See, they got to get the best candidate for them. And I'm not mad at LULAC. I'm not mad at them for getting the best candidate for them in office, because they know that Kamala is going to deliver for them and show Black people her backside, which is what she's been doing.
And to me, you know, and that's an awesome point too. I forgot about that, but it also shows me LULAC will not endorse a Black candidate. They won't do it because it goes against their basic declaration. That's why I was like, that just tells me right then and there that Kamala's not a Black woman, that she's just not. She identifies as an Asian person. She's always identified as Asian. I have never, in all my years here in California, I have never, and it doesn't matter what she identifies for, but the fact of the matter is she's only Black when she wants the Black vote. That's the bottom line. And if LULAC is endorsing her, that obviously tells me she does not identify as a Black person, and they see her not identifying as a Black person.
John Branch, you want to call in? I said not for Kamala, a D9. All right, let's see here. Let me go to the bottom. And Terrence, how you doing? Let's see who else came on here, because I know we're probably out of time, right, Donovan? I didn't see what time we had when you put it up there.
No, we have 4 minutes. Good.
Okay, 4 minutes. Let me see. I just want to. Momo, how you doing? Entree, long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Ooh, so many of you guys on here. David Shelton, how you doing? He says that ain't right. Okay, I don't, and I'm, forgive me, I don't know what that is. Lawrence, how you doing? Bruce, how are you? Donnell, how are you doing? And Too Black, Too Strong, thank you so much for the donation. He says, yeah, you're 100% right. They want to give us marching orders, and we are supposed to obey. That's why I've never supported the talented 10th. Oh my God, I'm so behind in these comments. I'm scared. Sister B, how you doing? I'm just going to say acknowledge people as I can. I want to put this in the comment section for Mr. Branch. He's going to come on here. He's D9. And Mr. Branch only, please, for the sake of time, he's going to come on here. Put this in here. Just for Mr. Branch. And he's going to tell us what he has to tell us. Deborah, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. He says, haven't seen Ann Coulter on C-SPAN this weekend. She talked about Foundation of Black Americans. Now all the Black immigrants are pissed. Yeah, and I would say Ann Coulter is very right-wing. Has been very outspoken about Black Americans and things that are for us. Like she said, civil rights was supposed to be for us, but everybody else has co-opted it, if you will. They're kind of taking it over. Raz Cash, how you doing? Says fast food making 30,000 hours, which will be much layoffs, and robots will come in and take workers' place. I mean, they already doing that, right? Al says, here's the $1 million question. Would Donovan fly Spirit?
Yes. If I need a last minute ticket, Spirit is the airline to do, and you got to get there at the last minute. I'd rather pay $200 versus $800.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you once again for the donation.
And Spirit has modern planes. It ain't like they have the old rickety planes, the Airbus 19s and stuff. They've got modern planes. They're one of the youngest fleets out there right now.
Cosmic Jen, I hope I said that right. How are you? All right, so I got Mr. Branch on. I'm going to have to leave the comment section myself to have a conversation with him. I'm interested in seeing what he's got to say. And hello to everybody that's come on here. Sorry, I cannot acknowledge all of you. Buckhorse, how you doing? Glad to see you here. Golly, you guys are going in on the comment section. My God, I'll never get to the bottom of them. And I think that's the first time that's ever happened. Elton, how you doing? All right. Hello, Mr. Branch. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How y'all doing this evening?
We're doing well. What's on your mind?
Well, nothing much. Okay, first of all, let me start saying that I'm very big fans of both you guys on Facebook and also the show in general. So I'm honored to be here with you. I'm also here in Houston, Texas as well. So I definitely love what you guys talk about. Okay, so I won't say which D9 org I'm a part of because I don't want, I guess, our folks looking for me, stuff like that. But people who know, they kind of know who I am and whatnot. I will say this. The reason why you're seeing a lot of these things here is because a lot of our people think that if we support, they're going to get some sort of preferential. I don't say like preferential treatment. It's like some sort of like props or like some sort of kind of recognition for, hey, we helped get her in. Now we're going to be out there, more visible, stuff like that. And to me, it's nuts because of the fact that it's like, because I saw the video that you did with Ricky Smiley with his stuff. I think it was last week. He was talking about, I guess, like how the emotions that went into what he was doing. And for these people, and for a lot of our folks, for them, it's more about being seen. It's more about how we look. It's all about putting on appearances. Because a lot of these groups, they talk about, okay, well, these states are racist. Like they went in about our Governor Abbott is messed up. They went on and on about Governor DeSantis, what he's doing in Florida. But look and see where a lot of these people's national conventions are being held. They're being held in Florida, and they're being held in Texas. So the one thing I'm going to say is, for everyone who's talking about we want to do something, we want to make a real change, are you really serious about making these changes? Because it sounds very, very good to talk in person about, well, we're going to stand up for this, we're going to go to the polls, we're going to do those other type things. And it's all propaganda. Because if people are really concerned about elections, they would do two things. One, a lot of folks would work the elections themselves. They wouldn't just be getting people to vote. There would actually be election judges, election clerks. Because one of the things, and of course, Demetri, you're here in Texas. One of the things a few years back, some of the polls, I guess, were closing because they didn't have enough people to work the elections themselves. They got rid of 24-hour voting here. They said it was racist. That wasn't racist. It's because you didn't have enough people to work the polling locations. And so I'm begging folks, I said, guys, look, work your polling locations. No answers. And then when they get into office, they disappear for 4 years. None of them go back and say, okay, what are these people that you're voting for? And by people that you're voting for, by the way, are you looking to see what legislation they're pushing? Or is it more about saying, hey, we look good. We got more black folks in here. Vote for everything black. but you're not looking to see what policies they have. And finally, I grew up outside of Chicago, right? We just went through the whole Lori Lightfoot situation. A lot of people voted for her because they say, hey, we got to get the sister in there. But she ran the city into the ground, literally. Now you got another guy in there. I forgot the guy's name. Same thing. But they voted for him because they, exactly. They voted for him, but they say, we got to get the brother in there. And I didn't even start on the mayor in Dalton with her messy self. Guess what? We got to get the sister in there. It's all about get the brother in there, got to get the sister in there. No one is asking about policies. Like a lot of people talk about Harris getting questioned about why is she a VP, etc. People got to remember something too. First of all, I don't support Kamala. So let me just say that. I'm speaking to someone who was D9 who does not support her. So that's my basis for kind of coming on. The reason why these things.
Let me ask you this, because that was my question as well. Do you support Kamala? You said no. So how do your the rest of the fraternities or the D9 do they know that, and how do they feel about that?
Well, my circle of friends know that I am a conservative. They know that. In public, they're saying one thing, but in privately, they're saying, John, thank you for expressing yourself. Thank you for speaking what so many people are afraid to say because they're afraid of being ostracized. They're afraid of being, I guess the term is like not on code. They're afraid of being called a coon. They're afraid of being called a sellout. They're afraid of being accused of not supporting the sister or turning your back on the community and whatnot. So once again, this election is very, very emotional in a lot of people's eyes. And for a lot of them, they feel it's like, okay, it's Kamala's turn. So I think it was Hillary's quote unquote turn 8 years back. It's now someone's quote unquote someone's time to be president. It's now quote unquote someone's time to be it. You're not asking about what their qualifications are. You're not asking about this because people tell us, okay, well, they ain't going to see her debate Trump. The last time she got in a debate, she got cooked by Tulsi Gabbard in about 4 minutes. So how all of a sudden are we talking about she's going to kick President Trump's butt in a debate, but she can't even make it through a primary?
And let me ask you this. Were the Divine Nine excited about Kamala before Biden dropped out? Or is it because, we're seeing this renewed energy around Kamala, and I don't really recall the Divine Nine. I mean, I know they've been pro Kamala when she was running in 2020, but I didn't hear a whole lot of rah-rah about her, from the Divine Nine until she was moved to the top of the ticket as far as, running in for the White House in November. So, I mean, why is that?
Well, I'm going to give my opinion because I'm speaking for me, not behalf of the Divine Nine. I'm not doing that. But what I will say is that for a lot of people, it's like we finally got one of ours up there. She's an HBCU grad also, just like me. She's D9, just like I am. So it's like, you know what? Now we're here. Because a lot of people, they were questioning food is going up, gas is going up, inflation is through the roof. And they're saying, okay, well, we're not going to, they're very hesitant about supporting, but now one of ours is up there saying, oh, yes, we got to go support her now. You can't name one thing she's done. You can't name one reason to vote for. It's just, well, one of ours is finally represented. So they're going to represent, and they're going to vote represent regardless. Okay, think of it like this. Say, for example, that you're going out with somebody, so you're going out with a guy. The guy got 5 kids by 5 different women, child support, not paying his child support, etc. He treats you like crap. He cheated on you, but because he's fine, you'll put up with him. That's what this situation kind of reminds me of. The guy ain't about nothing. Or this Kamala situation, deep down, what she is not bringing to the table, but you're putting up with her because she's a woman of color and is quote unquote one of ours, and we're finally going to get in the show. That's what it is.
But let me ask you this. Go ahead, Donovan.
Well, I just want to ask, but when you say they want to get in the show, okay, let's say that you guys get there. My son's an HBCU graduate, Hampton University. My niece is a Spelman graduate, whatever. Okay, you guys finally make the show. Now what?
Mm-hmm. They never ask that question. And I'm glad you asked that question because that question never comes up. So much of it is just putting us, hey, look at where we are. Look at what we did. You never ask about their accomplishments. You never ask about when things that are done. And also you see that a lot with our black legislators too. We vote for these people over and over and over again. You don't see anything that they do. You don't know what committees they're on. You don't know anything else about them, but you continue to vote for them just because they're brothers. Or like here in Houston, we had that Black Girl Magic that took place. They kept voting for them over and over and over again because they're Black women. That's it.
And let me ask you this. So is the Divine Nine asking her anything for specifically for them now? Because I hear this whole, oh, well, they funding the HBCUs, even though I don't know where Kamala was when Howard would have rats, roaches, and mold and stuff. I guess that's a different conversation, because I was having a conversation with somebody who is an HBCU and alumni. They graduated from Grambling, and she was like, well, they're going to be giving money to HBCUs. I said, okay, well, how does that benefit all Black Americans? Because all Black Americans did not go to an HBCU. And I said,
Correct.
even you, alumni of an HBCU, how does that help you? I said, you're not in school anymore, so how are you benefiting from that? And she was like, oh, yeah, that's a good point. So are y'all, when I say y'all, I mean Divine Nine, are y'all asking anything specifically from her?
But here's the thing, though, Demetri. The point you're trying to make is that it's all about symbolism. This is a symbolism thing.
That's all they care about is like, we made it. Because I don't know what comment. Let me ask you this, and I appreciate your bravery, because I know y'all are a tough crowd. When I say y'all, I mean collectively as the Divine Nine. Y'all, you let somebody wear some pink and green, and they're gonna be hunted down. It's like, oh, y'all own the colors now.
It's a gang. It's a gang.
I wouldn't go that far, but I know what you mean by that. Yes. Yeah.
I forgot I was gonna ask you. That's a senior moment for real.
I wouldn't say senior. I'd say seasoned moment. Seasoned.
Very senior moment. It'll come back to me. What was I gonna ask?
Were you gonna ask something about support? We're gonna ask about policies, because I did want to address the thing that you also said about what we're getting out of it. Also, think about this, because you recall we keep talking about reparations now. That's the biggest play. Now, my thoughts about it is, if reparations was so important, because it didn't come up until Trump's administration. That was when the whole big outcry started happening. Now, okay, now you're a recovering Democrat, I see up there. If you remember the first 2 years during President Obama's administration, he had supermajorities in both houses of Congress. If reparations was so important, why wasn't it discussed then? And I'll tell you why it didn't come up. Because we all know that when you vote for things in Congress, your votes are public. Are they sure that they had the votes for reparations?
In the Democratic Party, no. In the Democratic Party, no.
But see, that's what they didn't want to address, because had that come up and they saw all those votes to say, oh, you know what, now it's not there. Are Dems really for us? Because they've been selling us a line of goods about we're for you, we support you and everything else. But then when it's time to probably prove it, and so you quote unquote should have the votes, but do you really have them?
Right. It's like HR 40. Nancy Pelosi would not bring HR 40 to the floor because it would expose a lot of Democrats who do not like Black people or support reparations or even the thought of it. It would, so she gave them covering by not even bringing it to the floor.
Correct.
Yeah, it still didn't come back to me, so maybe I wasn't supposed to ask it, because I remember saying you were very brave, so maybe that was a higher calling was like, nah, don't ask it.
Am I afraid of retribution? Something like that?
Well,
something about retribution, something like that? Like, could that be it?
I mean, I don't know. Is there such thing as retribution if you defect from the Divine Nine?
Well, let me say this. Being a Black Republican guy, I catch a lot of heat already, as is. I've had women not want to date me because I'm conservative. I've had, folks that want to talk to me. I mean, cause I've had people tell me, say, okay, well, one guy told me, so, okay, well, all y'all just like white women. I said, who's Kamala married to again? Who's Ketanji married to again?
Right. Hello.
Who did Congressman Omar leave her husband for again? Who's
Come with that knowledge.
But see, I'm the bad guy.
Well, I mean, like I said, I think it's really brave of you, because I know, like you said, a lot of the Divine Nine won't speak up. because there is a backlash. I see how your Rickies and your Rollins and your BLs and all them be running around acting a damn fool, and I'm like, and I know the Divine Nine to be smart, right? You go to college and smart, but it's like, how is it that you run around here telling people to vote for nothing, like nothing, and you're mad about it?
When did having your own opinion or your own thought become a dangerous thing? When did
brother, the
having your
answer
own?
to that.
I do. That's why I asked, because I'm the kind of person where it's like, let's really go there. And for me, I care about going there. I care about asking those questions because we like to talk about how strong we are, how I guess how we should stand on things. I mean, first of all, the fact that for the most part, people are throwing their money and their votes aimlessly behind one particular party for so many years and you get nothing out of it. I'm like, that's on you after a while. But the reason why they don't ask that question either is because they're afraid of saying, okay, you know what? I've been voting all this time. Maybe I'm wrong. And one thing about Black folks, we're very, very prideful. We do not like admitting where we're wrong. We don't like admitting we've made mistakes. And actually having to have this real conversation about it, that's going to make us say, ooh, we might have messed up here. Or, ooh, we have to look at something very different now. And we're not ready to do that.
And they're asking, what's the Divine Nine? So it's the 9 fraternities and sororities from HBCU. So there's different chapters, right?
It's the 9 historically Black fraternities and sororities. It's 5 frats and 4 sororities.
Got you. So that's what the Divine Nine is. And even Biden has referenced the Divine Nine as being very powerful. I know not to mess with them. He's, I kind of said that. But let me ask you this, and before you go, because we're about to get out of here.
Sure.
Do you think that's something that you could, I don't know, maybe you already do speak openly about that? Like, hey, it's not all of the Divine Nine. Like, we get it. There's camaraderie and unity within the Divine Nine, but you're asking us to vote for nothing because we have this commonality.
Well, I say this. I don't presume to speak for the entire Divine Nine. I don't want to do that. What I can say is that, okay, you know what? I am my own person who happens to be a member of a D9 organization, and I give my thoughts and I give my comments just like everyone else does. And I think that maybe because I am a D9 member, that might actually make people say, oh, he's got his mind's got on his opinion, and he's not afraid to speak up. He's not afraid to go against groupthink, because one thing about Black folks also, we're very, very big on groupthink. I say we like to follow what people say. We like to follow the crowd. A lot of us are afraid to speak up just in general because we don't want to be labeled a certain kind of way. We don't want to
or not be with the cool kids, not be with the cool crowd.
Well, see, we don't want to be called lost, token. We don't want, because what's the name? Ricky Smiley's, his comment reminded me of like that grandparent or that older relative who, I guess, who pulled people aside and say, hey, let me get you together. But last time I checked, we're a bunch of grown-ass individuals who have our own minds and our own thoughts. We're not androids, we're not cyborgs, so we're not Terminators, from the movies and whatnot. We are our own people. And independent thought scares a lot of people. That's when it needs to be free.
You heard how he talked to everybody, Stop that! Stop it! Just stop it! Your mind was black.
My thing is, why are you so emotional about this? I mean, it's like, I wish you was that emotional, or people who are like that. I wish they were that emotional about their school board races, about their state rep races, about who's running their mud districts, about who's running their city councils. I wish they were that emotional. I wish they were so emotional about what's getting I was going to be going on in their state legislatures in 2025, starting next year. What bills are going through individual states? A lot of people getting mad about, I guess, like right to, I guess, end of right to life stuff like that. That's a state issue. Do these people even know who their state representatives are? Because I actually had a conversation with like some of my frat brothers about this law of some time back. I asked them, said, "Do you know who your state rep is?" I couldn't get an answer. As a lot of people, who are your state reps? Who are your state senators? Do you know what bills that they're setting right now? They had no idea.
It's all about the Fed.
But you want to get mad about what the president does. I said, no. Local and state impacts your life much more than what the president can ever do.
But that's Black people in general. We don't pay attention if it's a national election. Then we take our sides, want to be on whatever team it is. But when it comes to your school board members, your city council members, I mean, Demetra and I, my city had the biggest FBI bribe of a public official in history. Happened in my city. Demetra and I were at a meeting. Moreno Valley.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. We were at a meeting, and what's her name? Mrs. Jackson came in.
Miss Jackson.
Miss Jackson. And she was hollering and fussing after the fact. It had already passed in the planning commission, and she was upset and whatever. And that was so indicative of our people. We get upset after the vote has already been taken. It's already law. It's already happening. You're not going to stop it now at this point. And, you know, it's just sad, but people are waking up. So I do have hope, because people now seeing that the Hispanics are taking over our neighborhoods. How the hell are you going to be in Compton, which was a white neighborhood before the Blacks took it over? Now Hispanics have taken it over. And even in South Central Los Angeles right now, you see Miss Ann walking down the street in South Central LA with her Starbucks in her hand, walking her dog. Black people have been gentrified completely out. And by the time we realize what was going on, it is absolutely too late.
I can actually answer that question for you too, in mind. I mean, here's the reason why that's happening, though. If you look in some of these neighborhoods, let's say, for example, Third Ward, right? Who was their state rep? Looks like us. Who was their state senator? Looks like us. Who was their congressman? Looks like us.
Who was the mayor?
Looks like us. That part. And so they keep putting these people in over and over and over again.
Maxine Waters, that was part of her district, South Central. And guess where she lives? Pacific Palisades.
But see, they didn't want to ask what's going on, because in their as it's something else too, Black folks, we don't want to, quote unquote, make other Black folks look bad. It's like, oh man, we don't want to attack the brother. We don't want to attack the sister. We act like that, asking about what your legislative accomplishments, what your thought process is, what bills you're writing. We act like that's like attacking your Blackness. That's stupid.
Right. Well, you know what, Mr. Branch, I thank you so much for coming up here. As I said, it was very brave. And the question I was going to ask you, Kevin, it was in regards to symbolism, but I don't remember what it was. So I just probably wasn't meant to be. But then again, you know, my memory sometimes, let me stop. I don't want to speak nothing into the universe. Fat son, how you doing? So anyway, I'm going to let you go, but please come back and see us again when we open up the link. Hopefully other people
come back with that knowledge. Absolutely.
Right.
Oh, yes. One thing else before I go as well, I've recently been named the Assistant State Director for Texas for Black Conservative Federation. So I'll definitely like to get more involved and also make more media appearances with you guys too in the future.
I will keep us posted. I'd like to learn more about that.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See, everybody's always acting like, you know, we come and just be roasting people, and that's not the facts at all. I mean, we have a discussion. It's really good.
I mean, you said he wasn't a Kamala supporter, but, you know, being part of, you know, the Divine Nine, that's and that's educational for us, because we see that they are a tight-knit group of Black people, right? And they are, like I said, they're a tough crowd. They really are. You know, they don't want you wearing the colors and all kinds of like, listen, I was going to wear pink and green, whether you like it or not, if, you know, whatever, you know, but very, very brave of him. Because I'm sure there's somebody probably see him on here. What was you doing? You know, we team Kamala, team symbolism, team fish frying, twerking and strolling to, let me stop before I get in trouble. AG, thank you so much for the donation. Says I need to hear Demetra to say, I'm not going to do nothing just for Black people now. Donovan used to do it better than me. When I tell you, I have tears rolling down my face, because I keep telling Donovan all the time, he has missed his calling. He needs to be on somebody's television, theater, somewhere. I mean, he could impersonate just about anybody. And
he have impersonations. Demetra's favorite time of the year is coming up.
Yes, it is. Halloween.
Yes, the Halloween. So you guys be ready for that. So, you know, tune in for the show, especially during Halloween and October months.
Dr. Loomis. Donovan got a mean Dr. Loomis. That was, Michael Myers' doctor, right? And he was letting everybody know, hey, this mug is crazy, okay? I have to keep telling y'all not listening. So anyway, I see a lot of people came on here. I said somebody said something about when I said El DeBarge, talking about, did he just get out of rehab? You better watch it, sucker. We don't talk about El DeBarge. He got his little problems, you know what I'm saying? He's getting this back on track. He should have been not have his license. Now I know about a year or so it was suspended. Hopefully by now he got his license, and it seems to be on a straight and narrow. So we gonna keep hope alive. We're gonna sing a prayer out there for El DeBarge.
Yes, and before we go, you guys, do us a favor, like, share, and subscribe to this on your platforms, and and get the message out. Like I said, that John coming on the show is a great highlight to put out there to really understand what is going on with these fraternities and how they think, and how close knit they are. Like I said, that was an intelligent conversation. I mean, not that I wasn't impressed with it, because the guy is a HBCU graduate, like my son. But again, it is so sad that people will cut you off because you want to vote for this person or that person. When you guys get into these agreements,
I know it.
Right. Yeah, and you get blocked or whatever. But the thing is, though, guys, always remember somebody's got to be the adult in the room. And I know it's going to be you guys. So keep talking.
Yes, indeed. And closing, Brown Mike, how you doing? Says a woman president of America would be great. I agree. I don't have a problem with that, but she got to be more than just a woman. You know what I mean? She got to be more than just having, two things up here. She got to be doing more.
Yeah, well, Brown Mike, they said the same thing about Tiffany Henyard. Look how that turned out.
Right, she done gaffled up like $9 million from them. They broke and stuff, paying for her wigs and stuff.
According to Lori Lightfoot, there's $6.1 million in checks that have been issued. They haven't been cashed yet. Outside of those checks, she came in the office with a $2.3 million not a deficit, but a plus. She had $2 million in the black. Now, based on without those checks, they're $3 million in the hole. Plus, when you add on the $9 million or the $6 million of those checks that if they get cashed, what they owe to the vendors, not including the $33 million lawsuit that they lost, plus the $200 and something thousand whistleblower lawsuit that they lost. These people are ruined. The only way you're going to get out of that is you got to sell assets, you got to raise taxes, you got to lay off employees. That city has imploded. And I'm not saying Kamala wouldn't be a good option, but do we really want to take a chance on somebody who has never sat in an executive position to make decisions? Are we willing to do that? Look at the mayor down in New Orleans. City girl mayor there. Look at Fani Willis. I'm not saying that these women are not capable, but if this woman in less than 4 years bankrupt that city, a Kamala Harris election would be a continuation of the Biden policies on steroids. Are you guys willing to take that chance? That's what you got to ask yourself. If she gets elected, do you think illegal immigration is going to stop? It's going to increase. Come on.
Hey, Common Man, where you been? Where have you been? We have missed you dearly. But anyway, we about to get out of here. Curtis, now you know you wrong for that. I am not going to repeat that. Al, you got some El DeBarge news. You says El DeBarge will be in Los Angeles August 31st. I think I have enough frequent flyer miles to go out there, do a little turnaround trip, say, hey, how are you? He's going to be like a stalker. I'll help you get your driver's license, baby.
And I just want to mention this real quick. And, I know our discourse in America is really bad. We had an attempt on President Trump. Saturday, his plane had mechanical issues.
Oh, yeah.
I am going to say this to President Trump because I know he watches the Demetra K show. I'm going to say this. Be very careful, Mr. President, of who you have around you, because The lawfare by the Democrats did not work. The assassination did not work. And now they just got, and I don't know, I'm not saying they got caught up in it, but now there's a mechanical issue with your plane. Be very careful.
Yeah, they might be trying to take old Trumpy Trump out. He might need to get him a bulletproof toupee, just in case. God, the universe says reparations is past due for slavery in America, but we have to all be on the same page with what's owed the descendants of slaves in America. I totally agree with you. Wilbur, how you doing? Says if he wins, he will continue to fight against white supremacists. If she wins, we'll be fighting westernized feminism. Ooh. Says I know black, white supremacists and male westernized feminists. You know, you make a good point. Hey, Herschel, how you doing? Anyway, I'm going to get out of here because we're going to be here all day, and I would love to spend all night. Well, not really. With y'all reading all these comments, but we'll be back on Tuesday. Donovan, I'm getting old, okay? I'm getting old. Saying stuff that ain't like Thursday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday. We'll be back. Admittedly, I've been up since super early running around. Audra, how you doing? But anyway, and Eunice, how you doing? We're going to get out of here. We will see you guys later. And hopefully some Kamala supporters will show up eventually. They say they will and they don't. You're welcome, Mr. Branch. In the meantime, y'all have a great rest of your night. Peace.